Especially when we're in courtship, we're still on fire for the Lord, but things
we're moving.
You are not a wife. You are not a husband.
Single until you say I do. Welcome back to Life as Mrs. C.
Hi, my name is Lydia.
And my name is Ruth. And in this episode, we're going to talk about setting boundaries in relationships. And we're going to share with you some practical tips of how you can do that as well.
First of all, we need to realize that we don't have to take anything to chance. Leaving things to say, oh, because we are Christians, I assume. We are human. And that's something that we need to remember.
Yeah.
And before we start, we have we're going to quote Proverbs 4 verse 23. I'll read the NIV version and the KJV version as well. The NIV says, above all else, guard your heart, for everything you do flows from it.
Yes.
That's NIV. And then keep thy heart with all diligence, for out of it are the issues of life.
Wow.
Okay, so we have to guard ourselves. It's each and everyone's responsibility to guard their hearts.
Yes.
It doesn't mean just because you're in a relationship, it's like, yeah, we love each other, so yeah, and we are Christians, let's just get on. No, we have to guard ourselves, and we've been told that, our hearts, that's where the issues of life flows through.
Yep.
And probably the first point we could look at before we get in depth is knowing what relationship you're in. And right now we're looking at boundaries in courtship.
Yeah.
So you are not a wife. You are not a husband. I think in this day and age, I don't know, like most of us young people are struggling with knowing like what is the role of a wife, what is the role of a husband. And because probably we don't understand these roles, we find that a girlfriend or a fiancé is behaving like a wife, and a boyfriend, or is it the same thing? Fiancé. Fiancé is behaving like a husband.
Yeah.
So we need to realize that we are not yet that until we go through the rightful procedure of, like you getting married.
Yeah.
Because one of the relationship that has been spoken of in the Bible that we see, that has the privilege of somebody treating another person as a spouse is marriage.
Yep.
The first presentation of marriage we see is in Genesis.
Yeah.
That's Adam and Eve.
Yeah.
And obviously later on in the Bible we see engagement.
Yeah.
So to be realistic is that the Bible there is no girlfriend and boyfriend. There is no we'll see how this goes.
Nope.
We are seeing things that are straightforward. People are engaged with the intention of getting married. And when we see these engagements, they're not prolonged.
There's direction.
There's direction. So we need to know
absolutely
who we are.
It's so true what you said, because with that being said, just to add to that point, to make it point two, but it links with what you're saying, is you need to recognize that you are single until you say I do.
Yes.
You are single. So singleness doesn't stop when you say, oh, I have a boyfriend, or I am courting somebody, or I am engaged. You are still single in the eyes of the Lord. You are still single. He will still recognize you as an individual.
Yes.
The two, it's not, when the Bible says, and then they became one flesh.
Yes.
You're still separate flesh.
Oh yeah, that's so true.
You are still separate flesh until you get married. So you are still single, and throughout your journey, as you're trying to identify that person, or since we're talking about courtship, you've identified that person. It will help you to set those boundaries when you recognize that you are single. Yeah. And in that, it helps you, because then you can look at them and say, this is my brother. This is my sister. And you know what? We are friends. Yes. We are friends. Yes, you can call each other fiancé. You can call each other girlfriend and boyfriend, because maybe you've identified that you want to spend the rest of your lives together. But you need to keep that in your mind, in your heart, that this is my brother. This is my sister. We are friends. Yes. And that sets the boundaries. When you have those boundaries set for yourself, then it helps you to set the boundaries and protect your heart throughout your journey.
Like you have emphasized the brother and sister. We are brothers and sisters in the Lord. Like, before we are anything else, we are brothers and sisters in the Lord for believers.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think we have tackled the fundamentals of knowing, like you need to define, because yeah, like I've said, we struggle with knowing what the difference is. So now that we know what actually we are supposed to consider in knowing like who we are, we can go into looking at practical tips. And the first one,
setting physical boundaries. So I know this is something that as Christians we know not to have sex before marriage, right? But it's easier said than done.
Yeah,
things move. It's hard. Sex, it's really hard. It's in our minds. It's everywhere. The TV we watch, it's everywhere. But that doesn't mean that we should be doing it.
Yeah.
Neither does it mean we need to now compromise and do other type of things. Touching each other, touching things that you don't have. You need to be able to identify that, it's not just, even, kissing is, it would just be, it's just a little kiss. For every ending, there's a beginning.
Yep.
So sex did not just, sexual intercourse and it just happened. What did it start with? So all of these things as Christians are things that we know we shouldn't be doing, but we're doing this video because we know that it's hard and we've been there, and we know that just because he's a Christian, she's a Christian, guys, be warned, those things still move. It's that we've mentioned all that. How do we now deal with it?
Yeah. And well, the first thing in dealing with it is attack it from the moment it reaches your mind.
Yes.
Okay, because the mind is like a garden. Whatever you are planting and watering is what will definitely come out, is what you're going to practice.
Yeah.
So address the things in your mind. But as Ruth has said, you have to talk about these things. Just because we are Christians, the way blood flows through an unbeliever is the same way blood flows through
a Christian.
In a Christian. So don't think that just because, for us we have a higher calling, so probably even our boundaries are no. You have to be practical.
Yeah.
And one of the ways of addressing it in your mind is having a personal relationship with God.
Yes.
Invest time in reading the word so that, you're putting on the full armor of God, and you're also having your fruit of the Holy Spirit in check, because we have self-control there, and you need self-control. Self-control is so important because you will feel these things. It's normal, and we are not speaking here as Miss Perfect or Mrs. Perfect. No, guys, we are not.
Far
These
from
things
it.
are real. Even then, when we're in courtship, we're still on fire for the Lord, but things
were moving. It was hard. You still had, this is why we're doing this video, because we're like, this journey is hard. It's difficult. And another way of protecting your mind is, what do you allow in your mind? For example, I recognize that watching certain TV shows was a no. I loved Scandal. I could not watch Scandal. Things, you go to bed, you now change that person in your mind, you're dreaming. No. What things do you allow? And then if you're watching, you're sitting there and you're watching a movie together, you've gone to the movies, be mindful. What are you both choosing to watch whilst you're together? You have pure intentions, but you're there, you're watching this TV show and they start kissing. And you start feeling something, and just a little brush.
Just a little brush.
So what do you allow in your mind?
No, that's so true. And I also just thought of, what is it that we are reading? I've heard of people, just because, they're in courtship, they know they're going to get married, they have started reading on styles, whatever that is. It was actually new. I heard people read on such things, and the thing is, you're feeding your mind. Yeah. Okay? Probably at the right time, such literature would be nice to read. Yeah. But at a point when you can't address those issues in your life, for me, I would suggest that it's not the time to read such literature.
Definitely. Yeah. No, I'm with you. And also, being practical. So you want to spend time together, the two of you, but do you really, every time you want to spend time together in the evening, there's something about the evening.
The night.
Things just, I don't know. The night, maybe if you notice that there's something about the evening, maybe just do, lunch, and if it's the evening, go out with friends. Go out with friends, go on a double date if you can. If not, just mingle around people. Go somewhere where it's, you know, it's not a quiet place. Or let's go to this restaurant which is in the middle of the bush. No, go to that mall where there's lots of restaurants. There's nowhere else for you to go when you start having feelings.
Yeah,
you know,
that's so true. The best thing you do is, I want to go home.
Yeah.
I want to go home.
No, but even home, people are like, oh, just come to my house and chill. No one's at home. We'll just watch a movie and have some popcorn. Okay.
Oh, yeah. It's dangerous.
No. So practical things, like think about what you're going to do before you do it, and talk about it before it happens. Not oops. But you know what? If it happens, there's the grace of God, but it doesn't mean now you go and do it again.
Shall we continue in sin so that grace may abound? No.
But if it's happened, exactly. You know, God understands that these desires, He put them in us for a reason, but for the right time.
Yes.
So let's wait for that right time, and let's do what we can by reading our word, by implementing practical things, so that we can wait for this thing to happen at its rightful time. And also have people. Accountability, people who you can, you know, you're accountable to, who can ask you, how's your relationship going, so that you can honestly say, okay, you know what, maybe we're struggling in this area, and they may have some tips on how you can manage it.
Yes, and I think one of the ways of addressing this issue is, people, let's cut down on these long courting, dating,
oh yes,
you know, engagements.
Yeah.
You know, like let's just cut the time.
You know, burning for 5 years. Wait. No.
Thank you.
No.
Anyway, let's move on. The other boundary is family. You know, like how you relate with each other's family. There is this thing of you're calling each other like your boyfriend or your fiancé's relatives. You've already started calling each other in-laws. No. Because you know, one thing I've noticed is the way we address each other speaks a lot on how we treat each other. Yes. You know, like when you call somebody auntie, it's showing a certain sort of relationship. Yeah. It's showing a certain way of how you are going to relate to each other. So if you're feeling your mind, if for instance, you know, like Mishek is Mishek, that's my brother, just call him Mishek. Yeah. Okay? You don't have to start calling him my brother-in-law before time. Okay? Even things like, you know, parents, your child's girlfriend or your child's boyfriend or probably fiancé, you can see they're about to get married and you know you're polishing up certain things. But you know, at boyfriend and girlfriend level, that's just your child's friend. You find they're being treated in a certain way. No, that's not your in-law, because the more people are being fed with that, they begin to feel like they're at a certain level than they are supposed to be.
And they start acting like they're married.
Yes, they begin to start.
There needs to be a difference. We need to be able to see a difference between when you say I do and before. I think there needs to be a difference, and there's a reason why God created marriage. And it's, you know, there is a clear difference in the Bible, and we need to have that clear difference in our minds. So let's just move things as they are, according to how they are supposed to be. Those are just our friends. If my and probably I'm also a culprit, and we are learning. Yeah, you know, this thing of calling each other in-laws and whatever before time. No, it doesn't breed good things. No, it doesn't. It puts pressure as well. Yes. Because imagine now you want to be like, oh, you know what? I don't think this courtship is working. Now you have to go and be like, oh, it just puts so much pressure. Like, oh, but the parents know that I'm this and this, and maybe I should just continue and marry that person. You are at a function, just because your boyfriend's parents are there, you are trying to tame yourself. Just be yourself. He's your friend, okay? And they should take you as you are. Exactly, because they'll get to find out the truth anyway. We've talked about a lot of things. There's so many, you know, there's so many boundaries to consider when you're in a courtship, and those are just a few. Hope that you found this video useful, and hope you found it informative. If there's anything that you didn't know, or there's more that you'd like to add, please do drop your comments. Yeah, no, thanks so much for watching. Until next time, bye. Are you new to our channel? Yes. If you like this video, do subscribe